A block from where George Floyd was killed is this art installation. Each one of these 100 tombstones is inscribed with the name of a Black American who died at the hands of law enforcement. Among them is the name of Justin Tigan, who died in 2009.
He had a traffic stop. Justin had a traffic stop with the St. Paul police. And after he had the traffic stop, hours later, he was found brutally beaten.
The St. Paul police say Tigan was stopped, that he crashed his car, ran off and crawled into a dumpster. His body was found 6 hours later at a recycling plant. Tigan's fiancée, Tashira Garraway, wants the case reopened. She has since formed a group, Families Supporting Families Against Police Brutality.
The focus for a lot of the families is getting their stories out because our families are just as important as George Floyd's family. And we feel that just because our stories were not caught on Facebook Live and viral around the world does not mean that we are not just as important.
A database maintained by the Star Tribune newspaper counts more than 200 people killed after a physical confrontation with law enforcement in Minnesota since the year 2000. Late last year, the Minneapolis City Council voted to move $8 million from the police department budget and put those funds into other city services. Brian Peters of the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association supports some police reform measures, but says most police officers are in the job for the right reasons.
You know, I speak to a lot of my law enforcement friends that got into law enforcement to help people. And the vast majority of police officers in our state want to do just that. And they're being confronted now by groups that are anti-police, that it's devastating.
Well, the eyes of the world watched Derek Chauvin's trial after the death of George Floyd last May. Some 16 kilometers away, there was another police-involved death. Dante Wright was shot and killed after a traffic stop. Police say the officer mistakenly pulled out a gun instead of a taser. Wright's death has again sparked anger, with fresh calls for further police reform and accountability.
We feel like had they listened or had they come to hear from us, George Floyd might be alive today. But they did not do that. They failed, and they're still failing.
We want transparency.
Tensions in the Minneapolis area again boiling over. Protesters here want justice, but they also want significant change. Dan Williams, CGTN, Minneapolis.
Because I don't have enough to say. I do not have enough words to say.